Imagine you're standing on a busy city sidewalk as a massive transit bus pulls away from the curb. As the vehicle accelerates, the familiar roar of a heavy-duty diesel engine doesn't come from the front where the driver sits, but instead, the sound rumbles and fades away from the very back of the vehicle. It is a sight and sound we encounter every single day, yet it represents a fundamental departure from almost every other type of vehicle on the road. In your personal car, the engine is almost certainly positioned right in front of the steering wheel. In a heavy-duty semi-truck, the driver is usually sitting directly behind or even on top of a massive power plant. But in the specialized world of public transit and luxury travel, engineers long ago decided to hide those enormous engines at the very rear. Why is that? It is not simply a matter of finding a spot where there is a little more extra room. Moving the engine to the back actually completely redefined the way buses were designed and operated. Though it simultaneously created a set of incredibly complex and expensive engineering problems that manufacturers still struggle with today. Bus layouts have changed over the years as transportation has evolved. The old front-engine buses seem like elongated trucks. The current city buses have flat vertical faces, and the large long-distance coaches have dark-tinted windows. School buses still boldly display a tall hood in front, while articulated buses bend like huge accordions. This remarkable variety poses a key question that most regular commuters seldom consider. Why would a manufacturer hide a vehicle's heaviest, loudest, and hottest part behind dozens of passengers? To address this puzzle, we must examine how bus engine location affects driver safety, passenger comfort, and vehicle entry. We'll discuss why drivers like this setup, how it enabled current accessibility, and why some buses still refuse to follow this trend. Front entryway is the key reason for this design. Imagine taking a bus. High-traffic city transit agencies prioritize efficiency. The front engine takes up valuable space from the driver and passengers. Moving that hefty mechanical bulk to the rear lets designers build bigger entrance doors and a more attractive public entryway. This boosts on and off flow, a vital performance indicator. Every second saved at a bus stop helps keep the bus on schedule. In addition to the entry, eliminating the engine enhances vision. They can see pedestrians and bikers easier without a bonnet or engine cover. Space for price equipment and advanced ticketing systems increases. The entry is important, but the rear engine bus's best feature lies under the passenger's feet. Many had problems boarding buses before the industry-wide switch to rear-mounted engines. Front engine systems used a long, heavy drive shaft to power the rear wheels, which required elevating the bus floor to clear the massive rotating pieces. Riders climbed steep, narrow steps to their seats. Seniors, parents with big strollers, and wheelchair users face this regularly. Engineers reduced the drivetrain by moving the engine and transmission rearward. The low-floor bus design was extensively invented after this discovery. The floor can drop without a frame-length drive shaft. Everyone could board at street level on ramps. The engine is raised in modern buses, but the passenger interior is flat and accessible. One design change made global public transit more inclusive and efficient. Riders adore the low floor, but drivers love the improved work environment. Managing a bus in heavy metropolitan traffic for 8 to 10 hours a day is difficult. With the engine at the back, the driver is removed from the most stressful elements of the heavy gear. Engine noise, heat, and earthquakes are usually hundreds of inches away. This drastically reduces long-shift driver fatigue. Being at the back of a city bus can be loud and warm, but the person in charge of 50 passengers needs a calm, chilly cabin to focus and react to traffic. Vehicle exhaust and mechanical odors are vented out the back. To help drivers navigate complex city streets without a loud diesel engine, manufacturers place these mechanical distractions in the back. Remember that buses are merely enormous moving rooms designed to carry as many people as possible. Every vehicle component competes for space, and in a bus, passenger capacity is always first. Rear engines let designers create a clean, open rectangular box inside. Without a huge engine cover or doghouse beside the driver, the front of the cabin is more available. This configuration adds seats or standing room in the bus's center and front, where people congregate. These benefits are greater for long-distance coaches. Because the engine is in the back, huge luggage containers may fill the space under the passenger floor. Travel coaches have wide side doors because they lack a central drive shaft and a front-mounted engine, creating a huge belly for bags and cargo. It streamlines aisle flow, allowing passengers to move freely without having to overcome large mechanical humps or tight passageways. Mechanical advantage on physics laws is also significant. Most buses drive forward with their rear wheels. By positioning the hefty engine and gearbox above or behind the back wheels, you impart additional weight to the driving axle. This added weight enhances tire road friction, improving traction. This helps when traveling on wet, snowy, or slippery roads, or when the bus is lightly laden. This balance must be handled carefully by engineers. Too much weight in the back might make the steering feel light or detached, since the front wheels are not forced down enough on the road. It's careful weight distribution. They must not overburden the rear axle while enjoying the extra grip. This layout seems wonderful, but shifting the engine to the back introduces a big difficulty that engineers have been fighting for decades: keeping the engine cool without natural ventilation. Rear engine buses alleviate numerous design issues, but they have their own trade-offs. The biggest challenge is cooling. Bus movement forces a lot of air into the front grille and into the radiator in a front engine vehicle. The rear engine configuration shields the engine from direct airflow. Massive fans and complicated ducting systems are needed to cool the engine in these buses. City buses have big grills and vents on the sides and back for the machine's survival, not merely aesthetics. Maintenance is another major issue. Engine compartments are cramped, making it hard for maintenance to reach some parts without specialized tools or removing the engine. Accident exposure also exists. A bus's pricey drivetrain might be destroyed by a rear-end collision that would just harm a car. Last is the rear passenger experience. While the driver is calm, the final row often experiences the most vehicle vibration and noise. Why do so many school buses use front-engine engines if the rear engine arrangement is better for passengers? The answer depends on the vehicle's objective. School buses are commonly built on truck chassis, making them cheaper to make and buy. They use medium-duty truck parts, making them easier and cheaper to service in rural or small-town workshops that may not have the specialized equipment or expertise for rear-engine transit buses. School buses don't need the severe low-floor accessibility of city buses, therefore a drive shaft isn't a problem. Front-engine buses are also more robust on gravel roads or heavy-duty rural routes, where ground clearance and simple mechanical layouts are more vital than a low entrance. Every bus is a tool for a certain function, and for some situations, a front engine arrangement is simpler and cheaper. Traditional bus design is being transformed by electric cars. Engineers can move components practically anywhere on electric buses because they don't need a large internal combustion engine. Designers are testing electric motors within wheel hubs or near axles to save space. To avoid side impact collisions and preserve a low cabin floor, batteries are generally installed on the roof or spread out under the floorboards. Many designs retain the back compartment despite these alterations. Complex battery cooling systems, power electronics, and braking air compressors are still easiest to store there. The diesel engine may be gone, but the idea of positioning heavy technical equipment at the back to maximize passenger space in the front and middle is likely to stick around. The low-floor bus design is the best independent of power source. Overall, buses hide their engines in the back for one reason: people. Engineers made the vehicle easier to board, safer to drive, and more efficient by shifting heavy machinery away from the doors, driver, and main cabin. It made modern city life accessible to everyone and provided huge storage for long-distance travel. The bus engine was placed to maximize floor space and passenger comfort over mechanical convenience. The engine was pushed back to make the bus the efficient, people-focused machine it was designed to be. When you board a bus and see the level floor and calm front cabin, you'll understand why that huge engine is working hard hundreds of inches behind you,